So we are interrupting our planned video for today to bring you a severe weather video. So we wrote an article on this about a year or so ago, one of the times we were running from one of the hurricanes, and thought that it might be a good idea to share some severe weather tips when you're RVing for people who aren't familiar with severe weather, and as we are in a hell of a tornado watch here in Kentucky. So the rain is already starting out here, but we always remove everything that we can from our campsite to make it less things that can fly around if the weather gets really bad. And we will be taking down the Starlink here in a little bit as well, because our pole kind of goes up off a hitch receiver, and so we could get some banging into our unit if we don't, as well as damage to the Starlink. So that will be our plan. It is lightning, so we're not going to do that just right now, hoping for a break in the lightning. The storms weren't supposed to start for another couple of hours, but as you can see, the camp is fairly empty. We're lucky we don't have any trees above us, so we don't have that to worry about, but hopefully everybody else is securing what they need to secure. One of the tips too is kind of assess the, whoops, I stepped in a hole. Assess the condition of your RV and of your tow vehicle, if you have a tow vehicle, because that, if you do have damage, then will prove that you didn't have any pre-existing damage, that it was the storm. So just kind of doing that real quick. Just do a quick walk around and can see our dirty but dent and glass broken free truck. And we don't have any damage because our unit is new. So hopefully it will remain damage free throughout the day. Okay, one of the things we'll do for sure is take down this Starlink. As you can see, we're stuck on the hitch receiver with the pole. We use the Harbor Freight pole and this hitch receiver, so it could bounce into the RV as well as just the Starlink itself get damaged. So we'll be on our backup hotspot today, which is through Calyx Institute. If you're interested in that, I'll link it below. But it's just a nonprofit that actually offers true unlimited through T-Mobile reselling. We've never had any issues with it at all. We just got Starlink more for the upload, but we have streamed multiple devices on Calyx as well and not had an issue. So we'll be putting this away for the day. And you can hear the dogs frantically pawing at our plexiglass here. We don't have the screen defender. We did this. We have a video, a short on this, where we just put plexiglass over the screen and it's Velcroed on there, and then we use it as a place to store stickers too. So another thing we'll be doing is we empty out the sink from any dishes and we try to just put things away. Obviously you're still living in it, you're still using it all day, but like all those glasses back there will be put away because they're clean. The dog's blanket will still be on the couch, but we'll put away as many of the things, almost like it's travel day, but just kind of tidy up just in case. When we had a smaller unit, we brought in slides, but as you can see, we would lose access completely to the bedroom, access to the bathroom door, and we'd be kind of standing in the center over by the coffee bar there. If we brought in slides here, it's not, I don't think it's as big a deal with a larger unit, but some of the smaller units, we felt like it helped with aerodynamics maybe. I don't know. Another thing we always did was weigh down the tanks, empty the tanks first and then weigh them down. When we were like 5,000 pounds, then we felt like it really would make a difference to go ahead and weigh down the tanks with the water, but we emptied those in case it did flip. It wasn't as messy. So our phones are already going off with weather alerts, tornado warnings, but we wanted to show you kind of what you put in a bag in case you do need to run to shelter. Always know where your shelter is. The minute you check into a camp, you're going to want to know where the shelter is. They did tell us at this point that it is the laundry room. And know your address and what counties you're in. So the counties are going to help because as you watch any local weather, they're going to say it's in county such and such or near different cities. And this is where a paper map is really going to help you. I know we've all become super dependent on GPS, but the paper map allows you to lay it out, not reliant on cell phone towers to get it to you or anything like that, and really see what's going on and know your area. I think the other thing is pay for the weather app, the premium weather app. We have the Weather Channel one, and it allows us to see wind directions and radar. So we put together some cash, some protein bars, and snacks for us and snacks for the dogs. This is our NOAA weather radio that you absolutely need if you're going to be on the road too. That'll give you alerts and everything. And ours is a hand crank in case we're without power. And then our medicines and the dogs' medicines that they might need for the next few days. Okay, rains are starting pretty loud, but we wanted to show you our collapsible dog crates. You need to think about if your dogs are going to be around other dogs in a shelter and what that's going to be like for them and the other dogs. Or if a shelter might even say you're not allowed to bring the dog into unless it was contained. So they'd be most comfortable in their stroller, which would contain them, but that also takes up more room than one of these on our lap, on each of our laps. So we got these at IKEA years ago. I don't think they sell them anymore, but I'll link something similar with Amazon down below. They collapse, as you can see, very small, but they are secure enough for our little less than 20-pound Gracie and Loki. And here's one already set up then. And you can see the end is mesh so that you're seeing our closet through there. You can see it's 8:30 in the morning out here and getting very dark. There is a tornado on the ground nearby, but not headed towards us. And I did get my Crocs off. The rain is very loud. I'm not sure how this audio is going to be, and we are watching the local news now. So we did evacuate. There are some other campers in there with us, so I'm being nice and not videoing with them in there. There's some kids that I think are a little nervous, but I'm out here on the porch, and the rain has slowed, which is never a good sign, really. There was a tornado nearby, they said, in a rural area, so but it was headed this way, so rather than wait, I've seen them stay on the ground for way too long to wait until I'm hearing it's coming. So
is where we could see a couple of spin-ups within this larger warning here on the map. It's mainly north and west of Elizabethtown, but I think this is more of a straight line wind gust that's going to push on out. And that is
okay, I don't have the mic plugged in right now because my phone got wet and needs to dry, but this is another thing we do. The dogs will wear their harnesses all day, and they have the Apple tags on them so that we could track them down. This one's a runner. Yeah, you're a runner. This one probably won't leave my side all day, but she has one too, just in case. Okay, so now as you can see, the storms are kind of over. We're in between. We've had two of them. We're due one more. But we want to talk a little bit about storm prepping and how much we've storm prepped in the past, and just basically things like that.
How it's paid off for us.
Yeah. I grew up in Tornado Alley, so I grew up storm prepping in a sticks and bricks house, of course, but it's very different when you're in an RV. It is definitely, I find myself checking the weather more often, as you should be weather aware when you're in an RV, and make sure you know what's coming in and out, if nothing else, even for the freezes and things like that can come up out of nowhere this time of year. But we also had a tornado an eighth of a mile from us in Galveston one year in January. Who would have expected that?
We've had to evacuate for, I believe it was 3 hurricanes.
I believe so.
When we were living in Florida.
And then just numerous severe thunderstorms and everything too. So these are our tips that we've kind of developed along the way, found from other people, things like that. So some of them might work for you, some of them might not. You know, we don't bring in the slides anymore on this bigger unit. We used to bring in the slides on our smaller unit, but we could also still walk around on that smaller unit. We're not able to on this bigger one.
Yeah.
So there's that. Also, insurance. Get with your insurance agent. Be honest with your insurance agent. I know a lot of people are really against the full-time policies, but it's important that you have the right policy and that you've been honest. You'd want somebody to be honest with you if you're doing business with them. Be honest with them. If if you, God forbid, need them, you want to be off on the right foot and not have reasons for them to deny your coverage.
And it's really not cost prohibitive.
No.
The policy we have, which is very good coverage, it would completely replace our unit if it was destroyed for any reason. It covers a hotel room if we're out of the unit for any length of time.
I think there's tow coverage on there too if we needed towed.
And it's about $100 a month, give or take.
That's covering the items inside too. So like the camera that we're filming on, the laptop that we use, you know, anything that we're carrying around inside. When you're a weekender, that would typically go on your homeowner's policy, I believe. Check with your insurance agent if you're a weekender. I'm not an agent, but we had to go through and tell them like how much we would need reimbursed if everything were destroyed or stolen. So just be honest, make sure you're covered so you're not in a bind if you ever need that coverage. You hope to never use insurance, but unfortunately sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
So I hope these tips helped you prepare.
One last thing, ours is through Progressive. I'm sure there's others. We've been happy with Progressive. USAA does not do full-time coverage. That's why they handed us off to Progressive. But again, just check with any carrier and make sure that you have enough insurance to cover you and anyone else if you were in an accident.
Correct. And I hope these tips helped you out. We kind of did this on the fly as we were prepping today when these storms came up, so it was a little bit less organized thoughts than we might have had we sat down to do this. But it definitely got everything across to you, and you got to see crazy, wild storm hair.
So I wear a hat.
Storm hair. So stay safe on the road. We hope to see you on the road. And until next time.
And be safe.